Hello, everybody, and welcome to another exciting edition of the Agentic CMO. I am Dave Lehman, President and COO here at Birdeye, and I have another fantastic guest to talk about the world of AEO and GEO and everything that impacts the world of multi-location marketers and business leaders. So with me is my colleague and friend, Deepak Bahree, our CMO here at Birdeye. Deepak, welcome to the Agentic CMO.
Thank you, Dave. Really excited to be here and really excited to be getting in front of all of you guys.
So before we jump into the great content and questions I have for you, give it a little background on yourself and so the audience gets to know you.
Yes. So again, I'm Deepak Bahree, been here with Birdeye for almost 4 years now. Really exciting space, especially now more than ever. I've been in demand gen area for the last 20 plus years now, but this time feels different. This time feels more real, more energetic, more exciting, ever changing. So I'm loving every moment of it.
Deepak, it's our job to stay ahead of the curve on everything going on with technology, everything going on with marketing, trying to keep up with the AI world. I think there was a new model coming out of China today, like K3 was
K3, yeah.
We've got to keep up with all of this. That's our job, so that our customers don't have to keep up with all of it.
Right.
But there are so many models, there's so many new versions, so many releases coming out of it. Like, how does somebody know what's the right model to be with? Like, is that important? Like, what should someone be thinking about with all these new models?
Yeah. See, at the end of the day, I think there are differences between all of these models, and they're good at few things, not good at other things. But I think that's a wrong framing in terms of where businesses should focus on. What they should be focused on is, what is the work that I'm able to do today with AI? Because models, there are AI vendors who will take away the complexities like we do for our customers. But at the end of the day, what is that job that AI is doing for me? Is it getting me more demand? Is it helping me on the operational side? Is it giving me insights around where my business is lagging and helping me fix those issues? So the real question is, what is that work that AI will do for me rather than which model?
So the work, the system that needs to be done. What's the difference between like a model and the system or the work on top of that?
Yeah. So think of this as AI model is more of that intelligence layer. It has all of the intelligence. The AI system, think of it as an operating system for businesses now. That needs to take that intelligence and take it to the actual outcomes that businesses want. So if you are running marketing, hey, I want to drive more leads and more businesses to my website. That's an outcome that you want. Intelligence comes from the model in terms of how to engage and how to generate and how to create content and reason. But to connect that to an outcome, getting more leads to your site, or if you are into operations, I want to schedule meetings. I want to route them to the right people. That is where the system comes in. So what we are really saying is, let's focus on the system that you're building so that you can drive the real outcomes. The actual model is just the engine behind it.
And is that for B2B? Is that for e-commerce? Is it more important for multi-location brands? Like what's the right way to think about that?
I think it's important for everybody, but I am biased towards multi-location businesses. So I think there are a bunch of unique opportunities that it presents to multi-location businesses because, the reality is multi-location marketing is really hard. I don't want to say it in front of everybody, but I kind of admit that my job is easier. I have to manage just one funnel, and it's a very difficult funnel, but it's just one funnel. The colleagues that I have and the friends that I have in the multi-location space, other CMOs, their job is tough. They have every location, which is a unique funnel with unique challenges. This is a problem tailor-made for these AI systems because they can work at scale in a repetitive fashion and they can solve these problems on an ongoing basis. So, the complexity is huge for multi-location businesses, but the systems are designed more than ever to solve those problems.
I've had a lot of guests on that say, okay, I get it. I got to use AI. They don't have big teams, so they're stretched thin. They want to lean into this, but to make these AI agents really work, what's needed? What needs to be there to have the success? Not just say I'm using AI for AI's sake.
Yeah, I think the time is gone where, AI is meant to be, okay, I'm using AI. That's not an outcome. Using AI doesn't mean anything. I think there are certain critical components for these agents to really succeed. The first component is that location-based data. If that location-based data is jaded, it's old, it's incorrect, agent doesn't have anything to work on. It has a weak foundation. So that is the first critical component. The second and perhaps the most important one is the context. You need to understand the business context. You need to understand the industry context. You need to understand the local context. What works in Brooklyn will not work in Manhattan. It's a very different word. So unless the agent comprehends that context, they will not succeed. The third thing which is very important is they should think about what is that outcome I'm driving. As long as the outcome is clear, they can move towards it. If the outcome is not clear, what is that job that I'm trying to do? You will not get there, right? You'll get somewhere, but you'll not do the job. I think the fourth thing is around the measurement. And are you able to figure out whatever work is being done? Am I getting the outcomes? Can I repeat that work? Can it be done on an ongoing basis? So I think these are some of the core components without which you cannot succeed with agentic workflows.
Yeah, it feels like, a new-ish, but old paradigm of I want to test this stuff first. I want to run a pilot. I want to see how this actually works. And, some of these foundation models are great at piloting or even prototyping what you're going to do. Where does it fall down between pilot, prototype, and, okay, I want to make this thing real and part of my actual business?
Yeah. I think, again, based on our experience, talking to a lot of multi-location brands, where we have seen it fail is if these pilots are run in silos. If you are running, let's say you're running marketing and you're running a pilot on, hey, I want to run campaigns. That pilot is one pilot. Goal is to drive more demand. There's another pilot that's running, let's say you're running a voice agent that's taking incoming calls and converting them to appointments. That's another pilot running in one silo. There's a third pilot that might be running that, hey, I want to improve my customer experience. I want to make sure everybody gets a consistent experience. So all these three pilots are running in silos. There's no connective tissue. But this is not how businesses are run. You have to connect because the first one is feeding into the second one and the second one is feeding into the third one. So having a connective tissue around all of them is super critical for these pilots to work. And I think another thing which I see a lot of companies are struggling with is this idea of, hey, AI is built for brand. There's a lot of really good brands out there who build amazing products, but those products are built for brands, not for multi-location brands, singular location brands. So they work great at a brand level. They don't work at the location level. In fact, we just published a PR wherein we did a research which told us that 20% of multi-location brands have this problem that 20% of their locations are not visible at all on AI.
Like just missing.
They are completely missing. And the reason that that issue exists is it's structural. Because like I said, every location is different. But if you are monitoring everything at a brand level, if all you see is, hey, how is my brand faring? You will miss out on that insight. And the key thing is decisions are being made at a location level. As a consumer, I am going and searching that, hey, I want to see urgent care near me that is open on Fridays after 5 p.m. That is the level of detail the consumers are asking because all of these AI agents that we talked about in the beginning are answering those questions. But if your listings are not ready, if your reviews are not ready, if you're not having the right kind of trust signals to answer that question, you are invisible.
So maybe I'm doing all the right things at my
brand level,
but when the actual location where I'm going to be doing that transaction, I've got to do different things.
100%, Dave. And I think the cost of not doing that, it's increasing manifold. For the first time, and we just published that for our own Birdeye site, first time in history, an organic channel is competing with paid search in terms of conversion rates. It has never happened before. Never. Organic search used to be like a third to a fourth of the conversion rates of paid search. The traffic that is coming from AI, because there's so much intent behind it, it is so high quality that it's competing with paid search. Now think about the implications.
And that's not even paid search on like a ChatGPT, which is new.
It's
and that's
organic.
You're saying the organic side.
And it's free. You don't have to pay for it. So implications are massive. I know all of us are suffering from drop in Google traffic. It's real. Whether you have observed it at 30% or 50% or 60%, it's happening. How do you fill that gap. You can pay a lot of dollars to Google, which is awesome. Yeah, you can spend on paid search. But if you don't have a lot of extra dollars on the side, this is a huge, huge opportunity to double down on.
You've talked about agents for a lot of different things around visibility and the marketing side of things, operations, CX. Like, we've got a lot of marketers watching this. Like, where do they start? What's the best way to get going on this?
Guys, let's use first principles. I'm an engineer by background. I go with what makes the most logical sense. And for me, the most logical sense is you need to be found first. If you are not visible on AI, that's the front door today. Whether we want to accept it or not, that's a reality. So the step one is figure out, are you visible on AI? Are you visible on ChatGPT, Claude? You pick your poison. Are you visible on those? Because if you are not, fix that. That's number one. Now, how do you get visible there? Well, all of these agents are putting huge emphasis on trust signals. They are reading reviews. They are looking at listings. So if your review data is corrupt, if your listing data is corrupt, you are not going to show up. So if you are not going to show up, all your work is coming to a naught. So first, fix that basic principles. Fix that front door. Now you have a lot of people coming in. What's the best next problem? Well, I have leads coming in, but I don't know how to route them. Well, first get an appointment agent. Get something running on your website that can take all of those leads, convert it into real customers. And the last thing is, it is critical. Like I said, it's a loop. You break any aspect of that loop, it breaks. The last thing that you should focus on in this loop is, okay, I want to offer a customer experience that the people who are becoming customers, they love, and they become our evangelists, and this funnel keeps repeating. So go in that sequence is what my advice would be.
Love it. Love it. Well, everybody is talking about the AI virtual event of the year, Birdeye View, coming up in September. How does all this connect to what people could see at View?
Look, I'm super excited about View. I'm always excited about View, but this time is super special because we are moving away from AI as a concept to AI that actually gets the job done.
Is that AI at work? Is that
yes? So that is our agents at work is essentially our theme this year, and that's a huge one because we basically intend in this version or this edition of View, we intend to share with our customers how to make these agents drive real outcomes. How are businesses today, some of the leading brands, multi-location brands in the country, how are they driving real outcomes using all of these agents? So pretty exciting stuff.
That's awesome. That's awesome. What should the attendees, people who show up, to the virtual event, it's free, by the way, what should they walk away with?
I think, I believe they will all get a practical guide on a practical playbook on how to figure out what agents to build, which workflows to start with, what are the prime candidates for AI-based workflows, how do you do it? They will also get a first dibs on looking at our product in terms of how we are building these agents to solve problems for multi-location businesses, but they'll also look at how companies at scale are solving those problems today. So I think, if I'm a marketer or I'm an operations person or a customer experience person, I think I will have very practical examples of what should I go back and start implementing right away. Because that is essentially, I believe, again, slightly biased, but I believe that'll separate the winners from people who tried as well.
Well, at the end of our podcast, we always ask for advice, and you are the agentic marketer to agentic marketers to the agentic CMOs. So it's great to have you here, Deepak. What last advice do you have for those listening?
Look, all of us, we present to our boards, we present to our CEOs, and oftentimes the conversations are around what's your AI strategy. I think it's a great conversation to have. But I think all of us need to pivot away from just those decks around AI strategy to take it to the real world and figure out the question that we should be asking is, hey, I have a quantum of 50 jobs to be done. How many of those are done by AI today? How about tomorrow? How much of that work are we transferring to agents? Because, oftentimes we say, okay, we are using AI, it's pulling some insights, it's generating some content for us, it's doing a lot of side things. But your real problems are, hey, I want to generate more leads. Is that what AI is doing for you? I want to get more customers. Is that what AI is doing for you? I want to improve my customer experience. Is that what AI is doing for you? So look at the actual job that AI is doing and then a lot of other things become very clear.
Yeah, I think that initial hype wave of everyone use AI is come and gone, and now it's got to actually deliver results and have it measurable. Well, Deepak, thank you so much for joining us. I can't wait to speak again, probably at View just a short month or so away. Really exciting. Thank you all for joining us on another edition of the Agentic CMO, and we will see you next time.
Thank you so much, guys.